Yo, welcome to another episode of The Lord Show, DMV News, live from the DMV, doing it how it's supposed to be. I hope you got some kush at the crib, some cat in the bed, and some cash in your pocket. What more can be said? Well, I do hope you got your EBT. But thank y'all for joining DMV News. We got Diamond B Frazier. She is host of the BTYM Wealth Circle. Make sure you go check her out. And my man, motivational speaker, youth advocate, Jay Flo from Grind Hard, Dream Big podcast. And we got my man, Silver Surfer in the flesh.
Silver Surfer.
Mizterkool from Explicit Intelligence on YouTube. And I'm your host. Respect the host. For last time, respect the host. Bmore. All right. And we're going to talk about his December 6th event coming up. Can you tell the people about that real quick?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? My name is Jay Flo, like you said. Just blessed to be here. December the 6th. What we do is I have a program, teen leadership program, the Grind Hard Dream Big teen leadership program, where we teach life skills such as mental health, public speaking, social advocacy, creative writing, film photography. So we're teaching them about credit, debit, saving, and the 50-30-20 rule. So like I said, the kids could pull up, middle schoolers, high schoolers, even if the parents want to learn with the kids, they could do the same thing too. So as I said, come more. We learn out in the library. That's where we're going to be at.
Okay, how can people sign up?
They can email grindharddreambig@gmail.com, or they can walk into the library, just sit there and say that they're here for the teen leadership program at Glen Arden Library. Just looking for Jay Flo, and I got you. Community service hours are available as well, because we know that the teenagers need that for
yes.
So yes.
Hey, if Obama can't make that jump, where can they get your content?
So they can actually go, they could type in on YouTube, Grind Hard Dream Big podcast, everything is there.
Grind Hard Dream Big. All right.
And I guess that goes with Black Wealth but Diamond, can you tell us about BTYM?
Yes, so BTYM stands for Better Than Yesterday Mentor, and it's actually a nonprofit organization that I founded September of last year. So we teach financial education, personal development, and life skills to primarily high school students, but then now we've kind of transitioned over to Department of Juvenile Services. But the Wealth Series has not come out yet, so you are definitely ahead of the game. But we will be helping just our fellow people in our community be able to build and acquire wealth without all the fluff. Sometimes you watch a bunch of videos and you're still like, well, what do I do next? Or you buy a course and you're still like, okay, well, what's the first step? So we want to get rid of all of that and be able to teach you from step one moving forward, and then have people that actually have done it that look like us.
And I wish I had y'all when I was coming up, man, because that was a thought I say when I was in 10th grade. I was like, hey, man, what is taxes? What is interest rates? What am I going to do when I get out of school? I don't know none of that real life adult stuff.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, yeah, thank you. Absolutely. And it's like we make unnecessary mistakes that we don't have to make, that simple education could really just give us. And like to see just in the school systems how a lot of the life skills are defunded is very unfortunate. It's like once you graduate high school, you're typically 18, deemed as an adult in America, but you don't even know how to be an adult. You went through that whole process of school and still don't know how to do for self or be self-sufficient or do stuff with your finances. So it is very important. So shout out to Jay as well for his organization and working hard with his community partners.
Yeah, so both of y'all are PG?
Yeah, I'm in PG. Diamond is like more all over.
All over. Yes.
DMV.
Okay, well.
Definitely DMV though.
We need about 50 J's and 50 diamonds. Okay.
Yeah.
For real.
Spread them out.
Okay.
Spread them out amongst the county.
Yeah. Especially PG County schools.
Two mothers in Prince George's County are suing the public school system after a teacher allegedly tied their first graders to chairs using bungee cords. Both 6-year-olds are autistic and nonverbal. They couldn't say what happened to them, and since then, both mothers have been desperately searching for answers. Because he has autism and is nonverbal, that made it especially terrifying to send our son to Seat Pleasant Elementary
Seat
because he
Pleasant.
could never tell her if something went wrong. See, not you shouting out Seat
Seat Pleasant.
Pleasant.
Where
Hopefully
KD?
we can fix that.
Kevin Durant.
Hopefully,
Oh, they gonna take to be Slim Reaper. Don't put it no pressure on him. He ain't got nothing
not
to
to
do
Come
with
on,
it.
man.
mention it to Kevin Durant. So when it did, she had to learn from Child Protective Services.
Oh,
There really is a public covenant between parents and the school system. You send your kids to school with at least with the expectation that they'll be safe, and that wasn't the case here.
Right.
I have a hard time believing that administration didn't know about this, Kinzer said. When we asked PGPS for a comment, they said the teacher has been placed on administrative leave, but that is not indication of wrongdoing.
Diamond on a narrating tip beside the game and shit. She's like, I coming in and getting that pinch hitting in. I think I think yeah this story is just like so smack to me. Like back in
bungee
the
cords.
day, yeah, like back in the day it
Why do you
wasn't
even
that.
have them?
Yeah, like why is that a tool of discipline? Like why is that why did you use it for that? Why did you do that?
It's to restrain the kids because they couldn't control. It's probably women teachers.
Yeah,
Probably they
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
control the kids, so they strapped them down.
See Pleasant Elementary, I like to bet they was
They tie
probably
you to the seat, and you ain't pleasant.
of the Caucasus Mountains.
No, I don't think it's Caucasus Mountains on this one, brother.
I don't know, man. Bungee
I think
cords. Where
Oh, don't
black
put that on
teachers,
us.
where black teacher get a bungee cord from? We don't bungee jump. Where you see a black bungee player from? Or do you call them bungee players or you call them
Good
bungee
point.
guys? But bungee girls and boys?
So you're a good detective.
Yeah,
These are
hey, I'm
questions that need answering.
yeah,
it
that's the
better
most
not. If
important
we
question.
find out these teachers was black, I got questions. Yeah, bungee cord. Where'd you get that from, and what'd
Mm,
you use it for?
Yeah,
uh,
I mean, the fact that you had a bungee cord, it does seem like this could was maybe a little bit premeditated or
mm,
that it was there in case something happened where they felt the need to use it. Because I don't think you just find that in your classroom. You clearly bought it for a reason. And I'm
Right.
not really certain in what capacity would a bungee cord be appropriate in school. Like, what would you actually be using that for?
Right.
So that's an issue in itself. That's a question I would ask. Why is it even present in the classroom? What was your intention with it? How were you utilizing it?
mm. Jay, so what's your thoughts on that when it comes to you know, the BC, the bungee cords?
I just think that it's excessive. I think this is kind of, wild, especially how, in 2025 or just in general when we're talking about these things, safety and precaution in schools and just making sure that the kids are safe. Verbal and nonverbal communication is communication. So I definitely think that additional resources need to be provided and that communication as well. So I mean, my hearts are out to the parents, and I understand that that's a form of advocacy, and hopefully this would be something that people could take very serious and encourage
Yeah.
more parents to advocate for their kids. I think that should be the biggest thing, and that's what we see a lot. I know Diamond can probably speak to it as well. The work that we're doing, it's really like this mentorship and guidance because we see that they don't have that support. They don't have that, big brother or big sister or someone that they can really like steer them on the right path. So I think that with these incidences and what's happening, a lot of this is a cry for help,
Mm.
um, lack of self awareness or lack of social emotional learning, and them not being able to regulate it. So because they're not able to regulate it, this is what it comes down to, which is unfortunate.
I kind of think there should. I agree. But I think there should be more males in when it comes to, especially around kids and kids with special needs. Like most importantly, because you need a certain amount of patience when it comes to those kids in general, but especially those kids. So I do think the county has a problem because I see the story happen a lot, and not just in Seat Pleasant, but there's uh a lot of parents with children with autism. They're having a rough time. Are you guys seeing that when it comes to PG and just all around?
Yeah, I think that I couldn't imagine being a parent and my kid going to public school or even school in general because you got to now worry about the fluke. Remember, I always tell
The
people
fluke.
avoid the fluke at all costs. If we say fluke like all right, okay, I'll give you an example. Um it's the first half and you up 21 nothing. You know, your team is the Ravens, right? Let's say your team is skunking the Detroit Lions out 21 nothing. You trying to get a skunk going. But you fumbled at the 1 yard line and gave the Lions a touchdown
Hmm.
before the half was over. And then they kicked it off and you did it again and gave the Lions a touchdown. And then you got the ball and threw an interception for the touchdown. And before the half was over, it's tie ball game. That was all fluke issues that you just had, right? No one could expect that. So in this situation, you got to avoid the fluke at all costs. Like you got to worry about mass shootings. You got to
Mm.
worry about the pedophile teacher. You got to worry about the strange teacher that might just take your kid. You got to worry about people surrounding the school trying to take your kid. You got to worry about the bullies and now mental health. And then you got to go home and you might be malnutritioned. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
For lack of a better term, you got to go home and you got to be stressed out because ain't no food in the fridge. Or mommy or daddy ain't there because they at work or maybe daddy out there gangbanging or whatever. So you got so many layers in this day and age. Like I couldn't be a parent, man. Go through all that with that, especially with that bungee cording. It just last show we was talking about the homegirl with the LGBTQ gun.
Hmm.
Come on with that, man. We gotta worry about that at school now, and we barely could get transportation to these kids.
Right, right, right. Uh, Diamond, what you got?
You definitely made an interesting point. I didn't know where you were going with it with football. And then you mentioned the Lions, and I kind of felt some type of way as a Cowboys fan. They definitely did us dirty. But I think there's so many, to your point, there's a lot of layers and there's issues here. First of all, public school is free. So whenever something is free, you know it's typically going to be of lower
Oh,
value,
uh-huh.
unfortunately. So um, the amount of the quality of education is already a bit down. Then we have teachers feeling like they're underpaid and
Mhm.
they have to be the therapist, they have to, be the
True.
actual teacher, then they have to coach you. It's a lot that happens before you
Mhm.
can even get to the actual curriculum that you want to teach. And so sometimes they go through measures of their own. Hey, administration, if you're not going to help me out, caseworker, you're not going to help me out, guidance counselor, I'm going to take matters into my own hands. Let me tie these kids up. I don't support it.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it. I think that there
I
needs
didn't
to
think about
be,
that part.
yeah, it needs to be
right.
better discernment as well when you're hiring people. But because there's a lack of, as you mentioned, transportation for the students, so bus drivers, there's a lack of teachers,
Mhm.
you're not really concerned about the quality of the teacher. We just need them in these seats. We need somebody in the
Right.
classroom. At this point, you ain't even got to have a degree. Just come on in here and put somebody in the room. And so that's also a part of the problem as well. And when you're dealing with children of any special needs, it does take a level of patience to your point. And then, yes, they can be very aggressive. Some of the autistic kids and how they act out. To your point, having that male presence, like that dominance, can kind of change the trajectory how some of those issues and things happen. But definitely, shame on the school system in general. For one, not doing the due diligence with the hiring process, lowering the education for the sake of it being free. I mean, technically, we're paying for it in taxes. Um,
Mhm.
there we're still paying for it in some way, but it's definitely not private school education. And then if you go back just historically and then kind of looking at the administration that we have just in the presidency aspect, eugenics is very big. So no one really wants anybody that's disabled,
Damn.
crippled, anything that you're not a very what they deem as high functioning in society. So hence why you take away DEI because we're not trying to find a place for you. We need top of the top. I'm going back to we put COVID to kill off all the weak genes. We need the strong, dominant people to really help America progress. So, going to the schools as well, in order for us to get funding, we have to show, all right, there's kids that are graduating. So we're just pushing them along. They ain't even
Mm.
learning nothing. We're pushing them along. And then that goes also with the, kids in special needs. Again, we're going to push them along. We're not going to give them any attention. We just need the money. at the end of the
Mm.
day, it's a business. So school may seem like, oh, you're helping the kids out. It's a business. They're all getting paid money. Their customers are the students. They just need to keep them enrolled. So there's a lot of issues that are going on with this.
Oh,
Mhm.
damn. Yeah, you was speaking fire. Damn, they was tying up. There you go. They was tying up kids like a Saw movie. But
Yeah.
let's move on. We're gonna keep it in Maryland. Um,
Keep it in
now this one
Maryland.
on this show, just let y'all know, we have this thing where we do somehow it's always women beaters in Waldorf, Maryland. I don't know what's
Okay.
what's going on in Waldorf.
Mm.
Maybe it's the drive that's getting people crazy, but
Man, so yes, a man accused of beating a woman was released from custody and went on to offend again, returning to his victim's home and brutally beating her again less than 6 hours after he got out from behind bars. There, they found a woman and her toddler who had been assaulted inside their home, allegedly by the same man who'd been arrested for the same crime hours earlier.
god
Police
dang.
say 40-year-old James Bowman III was first arrested on the night of November 7th for domestic related assault. And the following day, November 8th, a state appointed district court commissioner released Bowen on his own, telling him that he was not to touch victim again. But within an hour, 1 hour of release from Charles County Sheriff's Office, investigators say Bowen was back on Drake Court inside the victim's home.
That's
They say
crazy.
he broke into her locked bedroom and assaulted the terrified woman and her toddler, leaving them beaten and bloody. She was able to call 911 and have Bowen arrested again. This time, a judge ordered the suspect be held without bond.
This Bama is a Bama.
And you can,
Clear,
and if you look
clear
at the
case.
picture,
I see
he
him.
he's not fighting no man.
He looked like a Bama. He looked like a Bama that shouldn't win. Like, meaning you shouldn't even have a girlfriend, bro. You deserve all of what you supposed to have gotten. Maryland justice system. Y'all let this Bama out, and he did the same exact thing in less than 24 hours. He went right back to the
He said, "I
spot
got
after y'all
unfinished
told him,
business."
don't go over there. He's like, F all y'all, watch what I do. Now the justice system got to come down on him.
And the
They better.
judge.
And the judge, like, how you let him out though? This is what the women are talking about when they say protect women.
Yes,
This is
yes.
men get offended by this, but this is exactly what it is. Like, no, don't blame the family members or friend of the family, nothing like that. This is the justice system. They had the opportunity to put this man behind bars and keep him there. They let him
They
out.
let him
This
out.
Bama did the same exact thing. Prayers to
Yes.
the girl and
And the
the toddler.
baby.
Like,
Yeah.
why'd you hit the baby? What the baby do?
Yeah, the kid built the fort. He ain't like the fort. Uh Jay, what's your thoughts on that? And I want to know your thoughts on the criminal justice system. And do you think some crimes are too, or the justice system a little too lenient on certain things? What's your thoughts, man?
I just think that, when it comes to this, it's unfortunate because, like I said, we have to really scale back. Just as unity in the community, we have to realize that, all this stuff that's going on, it's a lot of built-in anger, it's built a lot of built-in trauma. So to be a repeated offender and do something like this, like I would just question like your morals and your values. And
Mm,
yeah, I mean they got to tighten up in the system. It's really, to be honest, like what is a consequence of different centers, different treatment, maybe some life groups, some additional supports for these people, because I think a lot of it stems from like early childhood maybe, or a traumatic event when they were an adult, and they don't know how to respond, and how to deal with that adversity, so they have to be able to dig deeper.
do,
He looked like a Bama that ain't had no mentor.
yeah, yeah. Um, Jay, so do you think that when it comes to the black men and black women, you think there's a friction between them, and we don't know how to treat each other, or it's not that it's not that deep? It can easily be fixed with something.
I think a lot of it is trauma. Of course, like what we were told, be tough, man up, hold on to your emotions, or you have to be this type of person. So, things can come off like prideful, egotistical, and things like that. So it's kind of hard to lead with love or learn to live if all you've been taught is to
Mm.
survive. So you got to find these different mechanisms, and I'm saying that from just experience, and of course, like the movies we see in our culture, or shows we was watching growing up, or just like where we grew up at. We knew what we knew. So when it came to trying to learn more, you know, when somebody was trying to challenge us to learn more, we got into our comfort zone. We stopped, we stayed stagnant. We just surrounded ourselves with people that were probably doing the same things. So now that, when it comes to the environments or atmospheres, we have to be able to create atmospheres. I know you like, whoa, it's a lot, but I'm just saying like it's
Nah,
deeper
he
than what
cooking.
people need it to be. It's not just one answer or easy fix, but I think it just comes from a space of vulnerability, like sharing sharing the struggles, and sharing what you are dealing with, and then building that once once somebody says, "Hey, I'm struggling with this," I was struggling with this too. Now you got a common ground. So yeah.
Well, his name is James Bowman the third, so maybe his daddy should have whooped his ass,
Yeah,
or
Bama.
his granddaddy should have whooped his ass. But
Yeah, Bama too.
but Diamond, do you think men like him are far gone? That he said, you understand what Jay's talking about, but do you think that certain men are just gone? And tell us what you thought about the repeat offender beater. Ooh, repeat
Ooh.
offender a beat. Oh,
Yeah, that was tough. The old Bama ass.
This just shows us that there's still issues in the legal system for sure. And I would say that I don't think he's beyond repair. I
No,
think
yeah.
that we don't have certain systems in place to help with rehabilitation, and that's been a major issue. But if we even go back historically, there's been like social norms of men beating their wives, and it was okay. Not necessarily in our community per se, but domestic violence wasn't really deemed a thing. It was perceived as a husband's right, and all you're doing is keeping your wife in order. So it wasn't until maybe like the late 1900s where there were laws that were put in place for that. But as you can see, it's not really deemed as a serious matter because you release the person right out. And definitely a repeat offender for sure. And sometimes you can kind of just dismiss it like you're just a horrible person, you deserve, whatever happens to you. But then if you want the rehabilitation process, get into the root cause. So maybe, there's women that have abused him, growing up, and now this is him kind of going back into his power and dominating and, beating on women for all the times that he couldn't protect himself. Or, some people getting into the legal system, being police officers because they were bullied as a child. And now this is their time to kind of take over and like, destroy people of some kind. So very sad that the woman was not protected
protected.
and that he was easily released to do this again. And it's unfortunate
Right.
that you release somebody and allow them to do it a second time to then deem it as, oh, okay, let's take it serious this time. Because
Right.
that
That could have been
she
a
could
lot.
have not have made it to even call
Yes.
911.
Right. Right. I ain't want to believe it at first, man, because y'all joke about it. Hey, Charles County or Waldorf, y'all be tripping down there with the domestic violence. But it's starting to be a correlation, man. Waldorf, I
Told
used to
you.
like that drive.
Told you.
Shout out to Chantel. Ah.
You like
I
the
used to like
drive.
that drive. That drive from PG. Oh, well, I was about to say that drive from PG County to Waldorf.
Oh my
Because
God.
that's what it seemed like you was going
You need
cross
horse and
state.
carriage.
Yeah, yeah. That drive used to be chill as long as you got your music, man. You going to see your honey, man. You in there.
Mm.
I ain't know it was
Mhm.
that
Oh,
bad though.
I think that I'm not sure what the law is, but certain crimes or certain offenses, you shouldn't, it should be no bond. If you beat women,
Yeah,
if you had a domestic violence situation and you actually,
right.
it's actually bruises on the woman, no bond.
Get them
Or
gone.
if you hurt kid, no bond.
No bond at all. Get them gone. No
No bond.
bail.
All right. It's DMV news. We got motivational speaker, youth advocate Jay Flow, and we got Diamond B Frazier from BTYM Wealth Circle, and we got Mizterkool from shit.
From Mr. Intelligence.
Mr. Intelligence. Yes. And thank you guys for hitting us up. you guys reached out about the last show about the girl. Thank you for that. Um, let us know if you have any topics to send us. Anything happening in DMV, hit us up. And everybody, it's very important. It's in the perfect life to have a daddy and a mama, family structure. But nowadays, and especially now, you got in DC, you got broken families. Both parents got to work. The kids out roaming the streets. Guys, I saw this story. A 12-year-old arrested for robbery
Oh,
around the metro and everything. Come
crazy.
on.
Yeah.
What they
Yeah.
trying to steal some Roblox money?
Where her mother at? Where this little girl mother at?
But go ahead. God
You are
damn.
hilarious.
Nah,
Not Roblox
they
money.
trying
But
to get some money
yes,
for Fortnite.
kids in Northeast DC robbed two people. Sunday, police arrested a 12-year-old girl. Officers said a group of children spent a Sunday evening on October 5th robbing two people. On the trial, police said that the group grabbed the backpack of another victim while they were on a scooter, tried to take the scooter, but stopped when they saw an MPD officer biking their way. The victim's phone was stolen instead. I've been in DC for about 10 years. No surprise at all, Felipe said. I'm not
Spanish
surprised.
man.
I know
Okay.
I know how some kids are. They're with themselves on the street, no parents to supervise them. What's the city trying to do to help?
Mm.
Like the youth, to do something more? Cody Wolf said, you just always have to make sure that you're just walking and watching what's going on around you, unfortunately. It's that time, but yeah, I mean, it's not going to stop me from coming out and walking. How y'all feel about that?
She smacked. She need her ass whooped. She need her ass whooped. And she probably won't get her ass whooped. But people complain about the resources. They need more resources. And I'm a youth coach. I'm trying to get in the high school sector, but I look at the 12-year-old girl and I'm thinking basketball. And I like the fact that the school system has implemented flag football. I love that.
Mm.
Um, there are resources out there for. I don't think her parents are proactive enough to find them. I think maybe it could be a thing of they giving up, or it could have been a thing of maybe they just work too much. However it's gotten, when they go to school, you're away from your kid at least 60+% of the day, and you multiply that to life, their whole scholastic career, you're not really there. So the school is raising the kids. So with that said, schools, what are y'all doing for resources with
Mm.
these youngins? Why don't you create a basketball team? Don't even do sports. Do a science fair, one that don't involve grades, because I never did a science fair project. I never did it, and I always failed. Uh, but put programs together, maybe a gaming team, something that will
Oh,
interest the kid. You got to get
yeah.
them in the door first.
Yeah.
So sports, gaming, something might work. Music, and then when you get them in the door, keep them in the door.
Jay.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, a lot of these crimes that happen, like I said, it's a cry for help, like I was saying earlier. And when you think about it, like 12 years old, a lot of these kids, they're being robbed of their childhood. Their parents are sitting there working a lot. They want the attention. So because they want the attention, it's like, I'm gonna go out here and do this. I'm gonna go out here and do that. And there's so many negative things that they do. And social media is a part of that too. You know, I don't have the Balenciaga shoes. Let me go find a way to get that. I don't have the purple jeans. Let me go find a way to get that. Oh yeah, I'm a little low on the road block, so let me try to find a way to get that. You know what I mean? Like these kids are they're smarter than what we give them credit for. But when it comes to like them committing the crimes, there's so much prevention that can take place. So I mean, when you're talking about resources, they have so many resources, but it's really mentorship. So that's why the work that I do and Diamond does as well is so vital because, like I said, that's what they need. They need somebody that's going to be able to like listen to them, have a conversation with them, and be like, okay, I see what you're doing. I don't want to make this black. I don't want to make this gray for you. It's either going to be black or white. You're either going to be on the right side of the street or the wrong side of the street, and I can help you with that. But I think sometimes we get the blurred lines between social media and real life that they can't even really tell the difference. So that's why they need more people to have these transparent and real conversations with, as opposed to sugarcoating a lot of stuff and making us feel like it's a-okay for a kid to behave the way that they need to. Because some of them are acting grown because of social media and doing these things and feeling like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm playing Call of Duty. I just sat there and shot somebody on Call of Duty. Let me go ahead and do that in real life. But video games aren't real life.
Grand
So
Theft Auto
that's
out
a
this
whole
jump.
issue within itself too. But that's why a lot of this stuff is happening. When it comes to stimulation, a lot of these kids are overstimulated. And I don't know if y'all know, but people between the ages of 11 and 25 actually spend 8.5 hours on social media a day.
Oh
So
wow.
Man,
that's
that's
a
a work
job
day.
within itself.
That's a
Right,
work
exactly.
day.
But because that's a work day within right, that's a work day within itself. So because of that, when we see these crimes that happen, when we see these things that happen, we can't even be alarmed because they're glued to a screen and they're watching other people live their lives, and it makes them depressed inside and hurt inside. So they're gonna go and do these wild things. So
This little girl gonna be a repeat offender. But Jay, do you think, all right, when it comes to the prison part or locking up juveniles, do you think that's at a point like these kids do need to be locked up? Jay?
Where Boys Village at?
um I don't think that they would need to necessarily be locked up. I think um they need some type of prevention program in a sense. Like a not to be on scared straight. Like I can see if you took, group of kids, to like a detention center to make them feel like, okay, this is the consequences could happen to you if you continue to be on this path. But they need some type of program or prevention or some type of check-in to let them know, like, okay, this is what this is going to require. Because, like I said, these real life skills need to be taught. They need to be taught, and consequences need to happen. They can't just keep, smacking somebody's wrist and being like, "Oh, it's okay. Hey, Uncle
Right.
Johnny took some candy at the candy store. That's okay." And he goes back and he does the same thing again. It's like,
Right.
all right, well, when is he gonna stop taking the candy? Because
Right.
he's committing theft. So it's like, yo, he needs to stop
Clearly.
doing that.
It's a
You can't do that. You feel what I'm
it's under
saying?
$1,000. I can keep
So
stealing.
Right.
Diamond.
right,
Do you think these
yeah,
kids need a
and they need to
foot to
understand
ass?
that. I mean,
Yes, they do. They do, absolutely. Um, and so regarding there being programming in school, like I said earlier, the fact that a lot of life skills have been defunded, teachers aren't really, they aren't paid overtime. So no, I'm not about to do
I
work
heard
by
that
shift when you get out of school, and now I have to lead a program too with no additional funds. Then I got to
for
go home and
free.
grade papers, still free of charge, not on the clock, and then come back. They need to redistribute the funds. Stop
Mm-hmm.
acting like, oh, it's no money in the school system. It's a lot of money in PG County. Y'all about to put billions of dollars to build a stadium in DC, but you can't fund life skill programs, mentors, and things that can assist these kids. And now, secondly, they don't even have any real consequences anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You could barely suspend a kid. You got to have like reasonable cause. They don't leave the classroom. They can kick a teacher and get sent right back to the class.
Mm.
So you've stripped away discipline. They have no additional programs. And then on top of that, poverty is linked to a lot of the violence. And so I'm watching my mom struggle, and that's building up stress because kids, they take on a lot of battles that you don't think that they do. So you seeing your mom struggling, now you're making it a personal uh agenda of yours to make sure that you get it by any means. And, to Jay's point, they're growing up too fast. They are taking on their parents' issues as if it's theirs. So now I got to go out here and I got to go get it. But if there was things, we were able to be taught financial education. We did learn these things on how to build wealth, and then that would eliminate a lot of the problem here. And then spirituality is missing. We could do the Pledge of Allegiance in school, but we can't talk about God. And that's a lot of things. There's a lack
Right.
of moral. There's not much going on. Like people are just in general living a life in the way that they want to. I say lock the kid up and the parent. Both
Yes.
because your children are in subjective to you. You got your kids running out here. You're clearly the problem. You need some rehabilitation too. So I think that you need to be punished for not having your child in order, and your child needs to understand and learn consequences. That whole like you can't beat your kids no more because of child abuse. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Oh,
They don't fear nothing. They don't think nothing's going to happen to them. They can do whatever they want whenever they want, and they watch it happen. Cuss the teacher out, I'm back in class tomorrow morning. Punch the teacher,
Right.
I'm back in class the next day. Shoot a teacher, maybe y'all leave me out for investigation for a little bit. Maybe put me in somebody else's class.
Get transferred.
True.
Damn.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, lock up the kids. I think we need to bring back shaming. If I was a
Yes,
parent, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be
yes.
Nobody
embarrassed.
Joan no more. They don't be Joning no more.
They do. They be put you on camera. They be put you on social media. They make fun of you, then they beat you. Speaking of on being on camera, Delonte West, he just got locked up again because he was being drunk in public. But I want to ask y'all a quick question. I know we got to go, but do y'all think he's like far gone? Like at a certain point, is there like is there a point when you see somebody like I can't help you no more?
Hey
Some people are
man,
far gone. We're gonna get
hey,
Jay. Jay, what you think?
that's it.
I think I wouldn't say that he's far gone. I feel like sometimes people are wrestling with a lot of things, and they find ways to like cope. So like when you were saying like the intoxicated thing or repetitive things, some people get caught in like bad habits, and that just becomes a part of their identity. Unfortunately, so I mean that's just like a coming to God moment. Like you definitely need to pray about it, build your relationship with God or whoever you believe in, the higher power. For me, I believe in God. So because of that, it's just like understanding that, giving that issue to him, and then being able to, work that, So these things that happen that are, problematic, is just behaviors and patterns. So I think that's probably something that he
Mm,
got himself caught up with again. And then also just
demons.
yeah, demons, and then also your circle of friends. You are who you hang around. So let's say, for example, he was around a lot of people, even though he is homeless. Unfortunately, let's say, for example, there was a lot of people that didn't pour into him or just always took away from
He
him.
had it
You know what I mean?
all.
And all
Um,
In
that.
PG
It's
County.
like yeah. You know?
Diamond. Do you think it's a point?
So I just
Well,
feel like
what do you
I
think
feel like
about
that's
Delonte
important.
West, man? Do you think certain people he's done? And people are based now. People are just using him for social media. But go ahead.
I would say for the average person or just people in general, I think that outside of making sure that he has water, clothes, shelter, uh, anything outside of that is beyond repair for us just on a human level. You
Mm-hmm.
have to actually want it. I don't think anybody would neglect him if he really was like, hey, I need the help. But it seems like he's become comfortable with what his new normal is. But to Jay's point, if you truly want to change, God don't never close the door. It's always wide open. You can come back anytime, more than we as people would allow with other people. So if he really came to a space and really neglected like his desire and just reached into his higher self and said, God, listen, I need to be called back to you, I'm sure he
Mm,
would be, but it's beyond just us on an earthly level, what we can do. But I wouldn't say exploit him online for views or anything like that. You can't say that you want better for a person, but don't do any action for it. So if I know mentally he's not there, but maybe a code will help him, I don't need to record it, nothing like that. Just, you know, a brother in our community, hey, here's a code, it's cold outside. And just keep it moving. If he wants more, he know where to go.
mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's like the most famous homeless person. But
Mm-hmm.
I think sitting
He
down
ran
will
live.
definitely help him. But cool. You got anything to say?
Yeah, the Bama guy. I mean, I even did a podcast on him years ago when folks was exploiting him for content, and I was just like, yeah, he's from PG County. I'm gonna say the hood let him down, man. Because
Ooh.
I'm sure when he back off season, he was helping a lot of folks out.
Mm-hmm.
Now he need the help, and I don't see nobody around him that used to be around him trying to help him. And now they were probably saying the defense, he don't want the help. Well, you gotta force it, man, if you're a true friend. And then, as far as using them for exploitation, like I wanted to reach out to him, as far as content, and as a fellow hooper, I wanted to talk sports with him. Like he's been at the top, he's been at the pinnacle. I want to know what it's like to be an NBA player, and I want
Mm-hmm.
folks that listen. How is it to be an NBA player and knowing his story, what the do's and don'ts, the tricks of
Right.
the trade, and what to avoid? during your career and what to expect. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do, and I'm pulling for the dude. I still believe
Yes.
that he got an
Yes.
opportunity. I hope he just sees the opportunity and get better, so we could see that Bama like talking just like Diamond and Jay. He helping the next folks out.
Yes. Yes. We definitely need him. Maybe he can get out and come to. Hopefully he be out by December 6th. All right. So you
Get
can
some
go
hooping in.
so you can go to the J Flow Motivational Youth Advocate. He got an event. Where's it at? Glenarden Library. 8724 Glenarden Parkway, Glenarden, Maryland. All right. Tell the people what you're gonna be talking about again.
Yes, so December the 6th, Glenarden Library, all the teams pull up grade 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. You know what I'm saying? Ages 12 to 18. They can learn about the 50, 30, 20 rule, credit scores. They can learn about budgeting. They're going to also learn how to write a check as well and build with each other. You know, finding ways to solve problems and understand budget situations from how much you need to put towards your rent, how much you need to put towards your wants and your savings. So it's going to be a fun experience for everybody. Parents are also welcome to learn with their kids as well, and we hope to see them there.
I got a 13-year-old, and it's gonna be on a Saturday. I might force her to go. Uh,
No.
Diamond, where people can reach you and tell them about your show.
So you can reach me probably anywhere. Just type in Diamond B Frazier, something will come up. I haven't really been super active on social media, but the Wealth series should come out the start of December. So we're actually in process of filming now.
Okay. Entrepreneur. Cool.
Love
Tell
and
the people where
light.
they can reach you.
Telemando, hasta la vista. Yay. Yay. Nah,
Oh my goodness.
Explicit Intelligente. Nah, you can catch me on YouTube, man. Explicit Intelligence. Instagram, Mizterkool. That's Mr. with the Z and cool with the K.
Bro, I appreciate Jay, Diamond. Y'all brought so much positivity into these desperate, sad times in the DMV. But thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bmore. Stay black.
Be blessed.
See me with my babe, that's it talk. The money in the way, that's it talk.